if we are in alignment with ourselves and we're not swinging too much to the left or too much to the right, you're not super excited and you're not super miserable, but you are in this balanced, aligned space, then you can handle things that come up throughout the day. So being in a balanced space where you are feeling generally good is a good space to be. Being in a neutral space is also a good space to be. Hello and welcome to Love Tune, your space for healing, inspiration and growth. My name is Ani Manukyan, and today we will be discussing how to have a good mood daily and how to have more joy in your life daily. I feel like I'm qualified to speak about this subject because I have a good mood on most days, and I have a structure or a system, let's call it a system, when I don't feel my best, how to pick myself up. And today I will be sharing with you what are some of the causes in terms of not having a good mood, how to prevent these causes from messing up how you feel and your emotions, how to train yourself and your mind to notice the small things, build up those neurons in your mind to start having a good mood daily and making it your standard in life. We will also cover some aspects when it comes to boundaries in relationships, how to communicate with people in terms of how to, for them not to mess up your mood, and much more. So stay tuned and let's get started. So when we start the day, it's usually a blank page. It's a neutral day. It has no meaning. The day itself is not good or bad. We get this blank page to create from it whatever it is that we wish to. Each day you can choose to have this intention that today I'm going to feel good and I'm going to feel joy today. So what is it that dictates your mood each day? Some big chunk and a lot of the aspects that are outside of you is people, of course, outside of you, the relationships you have, circumstances, events that happen in your life or in the world in general. But a lot of the biggest chunk, I would say, is your thoughts and the way you react to things. And despite all of the above mentioned, you can still choose daily. Today I set the intention to have a joyful day or have at least a good mood in general. And as a person, you either have this habit of having a good mood or not, because having a good mood or joyful day in general is a standard and a habit. Like I also mentioned before, we all have this fear town or love town internally. And if you build this love town internally to become bigger than the fear town, which is all these neurons of fear internally, if you make them smaller and smaller, with different practices that I share, but also with each thought that you choose, making this fear town smaller and smaller and making this love town internally bigger and bigger, you will naturally be more at peace and you will naturally have a good mood each day and good day each day. And you will not want to mess up your mood because you will not find any pleasure from bringing yourself down or allowing other people to do so. You will not get this dopamine hit from feeling low if your standard of mood is not feeling low. Once you are clear what your standard of mood is in throughout your day, Is it to be neutral? Is it to feel good? Or is it to fall for fear, fall for negativity, and just have a low mood in general and in standard? And what we want to do is to actually to be in this central core alignment. This is something that a lot of times my Qigong teacher mentions, because if we are in alignment with ourselves, and we're not swinging too much to the left or too much to the right, you're not super excited and you're not super miserable, but you are in this balanced, aligned space, then you can handle things that come up throughout the day much smoother, and you are more in this balanced space. Because even if you get too excited, you are out of alignment. Because if you think in terms of long period of times, you're not going to be able to sustain that, and it requires a lot of energy to be excited all of the time, and it actually drains your nervous system to be in this hyper state. So being in a balanced space where you are feeling generally good is a good space to be. Being in a neutral space is also a good space to be, because from here you can create and you can be balanced and aligned. If we see a poisonous dish or a poisonous anything in front of us, most of us would not take it and consume it fully. But for some reason, when it comes to relationships, we are okay to keep a couple of toxic people here and there. And that's why it's very vital to recognize the people that keep bringing you down, who are toxic, and remove them from your life, or at least distance these people as much as possible, because it requires so much energy to keep bringing yourself up again. When it comes to relationships, it is very vital to know who stands where in your life, in which circle of your life. And there's this practice that I share in my community group that I welcome you to join. The practice is called Circles of Life, and what it does is helps you to identify what relationships are close to you in your different circles of life, and which ones do you want to keep close to you, and which ones do you want to keep further away or remove from your circles completely. So the way it looks like is that you draw yourself in the center of this circle, because you are the main person of this life that you are leading, and your main connection to yourself is the most important one, to yourself and the divine. And second one comes if you have a partner, and if you don't, if there is anyone else that's close to you, and so on. It moves down the circles of your life. And this is a very eye-opening practice, because it helps you to reflect and identify how close you are to each person in your life. Do you want to keep this relationship? How close do you want to keep this relationship to you? How is it serving you? Is it for your highest and good to keep this relationship? And as you gain clarity, it helps you to become more empowered in your relationships and the choices that you make and the decisions that you make in your relationships. And if there are any people that you want to keep your distance from, of course you can do that politely, keeping your distance politely. And this can of course change, because as you change, people that you wanted to keep at a distance, you might now want to keep closer, or the people that were close to you, you might want to move further away from the circles of your life. Because relationships in general can affect how you feel a lot throughout your day, and they either bring you up or they bring you down. And why would you want to have a bunch of people in your life who are constantly bringing you down, disrespecting you, or not allowing you to blossom and feel your best? And people in general, you can divide them in civilized people and uncivilized people, and usually it's easier to be around civilized people who want to make it easy for you to be around other people, and then there are people who are less civilized and who don't consider how they make other people feel. And of course, we want to stay away from all these people who have this sign on their foreheads that says, be aware, be aware I am toxic, or be aware I'm just going to drain your energy, and that's it. Sometimes you have to learn through lessons, but it's not always the case. You can just observe and see how they treat other people, see how they treat you, and make your choice and decision to keep that person or not. And this comes down to respecting yourself in terms of how you allow other people to treat you, and not allow other people, how you don't allow other people to treat you. And I know a lot of times we cannot choose all the people that surround us. For example, if you are working in an office space, but what you can do is, again, keep your distance and in a polite way say, for example, you say that you have your headphones and you just want to work and stay focused, and say no thank you. So this is a practice where you say no to people and not accept anything or stop people pleasing in a way. And even when it comes to collaborating with people who are toxic, who keep bringing you down, you can just know from the start that there is not going to be any success in this endeavor that you have going on, because you cannot in the long term have a successful project or have a successful anything with someone that is bringing you down or is toxic. And I think in a lot of cases it is okay to use white lies if you have to keep yourself away from these people and say, you know what, I am busy, I cannot continue on this project, or whatever it is. And I remember when I was working for a company and the owner was very used to yelling at the people that he worked with. It was his standard practice to yell at people, and one day he decided to yell at me, and he thought it was okay to yell and explain things. And basically I decided to quit because I respect myself enough not to accept someone disrespecting me in that way. And obviously the person was not going to change, because for them it's normal to yell at the people that he works with. And again, you can do all of this in a beautiful, polite way if you choose to. And if you have to use a white lie, say that, hello, I'm going away, it's an urgency, goodbye, because I want to protect my energy and I respect myself enough, then please go ahead. Let's cover a little bit people who are close to you, because again, relationships are a big part in our life and our daily life and how we feel. And if you have a relationship with a partner who is emotionally mature, of course they will not be there to bring you down. They will not even be up for that kind of games with you. Even if you have an emotionally mature person that you are with, let's say the person has this habit that is messing up your mood, or what they do is they choose to complain all the time and this complaining is not making you feel your best, or it's messing up your mood even the slightest, how can you deal with this situation? The way you can deal with this kind of situation is not by actually pointing out change this habit. And we all know when we ask people to change how that happens and how that looks like, it's not always the most effective way. What you can do is actually say, if you do this and this habit of yours keep bringing me down and messes up my mood, for example, you complaining every day, whenever you start complaining, I will go out for a walk no matter the weather, while you while you keep continuing complaining to yourself. Or I will not join you to dance today, or anything that you both enjoy doing together. You just make that less and take your energy back slightly, so that the person understands that this is not something that you enjoy. And of course, you tell them that this complaining is not something that I enjoy, and I will go for a walk while you're complaining. And of course, you are a free person. You can keep doing what it is that you want to do. And me as a free person as well, I will choose to do like this to protect my energy. Because ideally, when we come into a close relationship with someone, what we want to do is to multiply joy. We don't want to create more suffering together. And when it comes to relatives, I think it's the same situation as with strangers. Just because you are related by blood doesn't mean these people are super close to you. And depending on where they stand in your life, or if they stand in your circles of life at all, and if there is mutual respect, then yeah, you can choose how much you want to keep this relationship or not in your life. But again, you need to check that there is mutual respect and the person is not toxic and not someone that will keep wanting to bring you down intentionally or mess up your mood. Because when you love someone, even if you have something negative to say, you will present this in a way that will at least not cause them much stress or much harm, or want to protect them in a way if you truly love someone. That's why it's important to have people around you that really care for you and want the best for you. Let's touch upon the parents' side of relationship quickly, because I know a lot of people go all their life with this burden of, for example, a mother for whom you're never good enough, or a father for whom you're never good enough, and all your life you are living this role, trying to prove something to them, trying to prove that I am a good girl, I am a good boy, see, I achieved this, see that. I mean, this is a big subject, so what I want to say is that if you have parents who look down upon you or want to always bring you down or make you feel less than, then in my opinion, it is a good idea to keep your distance from the parents until you have at least healed yourself and work on yourself. From my personal experience, I have worked on myself enough to have a close relationship with my mother. She's like my best friend, and have a good relationship with my father. So ideally you have a good relationship with both, but in the process, in the meantime, if you feel like these people are just there to bring you down, then keep your distance. But it doesn't mean that you are completely cut off from these people who are your parents. I feel like you still have this sense of respect for these people who brought you life, and you respect them, you honor them, and you help them if they need your help. But at the same time, you recognize this difference in terms of not needing this acceptance from these people who gave you life. But again, this is a process that you have to do internally in terms of working on yourself, and as you do, you will realize that these people, even your parents, change the way they speak to you, the way they treat you, and also you train people by the way you carry yourself, by the way you respect yourself, of this is how you speak to me, this is not how you speak to me, even if it's your parents. Now let's go over to the biggest chunk that affects how you feel throughout the day. That is your thoughts and how you react to things, events, to people. And this is a habit, and it's something that you can train yourself to do. First of all, not allowing negative thoughts in, and whenever a negative thought comes up, you just delete it and say, for example, banish this thought, and not allowing this thought to even play in your mind, and removing any thoughts that come up during the day that keep bringing you down, and aligning yourself to the build-up of positive thoughts, because when you are aligned to this positive thoughts and feeling good in general, you will also attract this type of thoughts. So once you don't not allow yourself to align to negative thoughts, and you intentionally start to build up this positive thought one at a time, if you have to force yourself to practice building up one positive thought at a time, you do so, because everything is a habit, and you can train yourself to build up this positive state throughout your day, and also reflecting throughout the day. Has my energy dropped? Have I dropped in terms of my thoughts? What is the thought in general? Is it more upbeat, or is it more, oh, poor me, and, going more downwards? And there is this practice that can really help you to build up this positivity in the morning or throughout the day, or even build up this habit of having positive thoughts. And it's called the beans practice, or the rice, whatever you have at hand. So the way it works is you have this pile of beans in your pocket or in your bag, wherever you can have it throughout the day. And let's say you have beans, and throughout the day, when you notice what is good in life, you start to pick one bean and put it in the other pocket. And you start to say, for example, it's the scent of spring, or the scent of the flower is so enchanting, and the forest scent, or the sky is looking amazing today. And every time you notice something, you give yourself 1 point, 1 bean, and you put it to the other pocket. And at the end of the day, you want to have the pocket that was full of beans emptied to the other side, and each day you want to have as many beans on the other side as possible, and keep playing in that way, because that will make your sense of play will also already uplift your mood, make your inner child happy, make you happy. Play in itself is a great way to feel good in general during the day. Or even saying, encouraging yourself at the end of the day, I did great today, giving yourself a hug and putting a bean or whatever, buying yourself a nice drink or something that will make you happy. This will become a habit each time, and you can start with beans, for example. If beans is too much, then go to rice, whatever you have at hand. whatever works for you. But as long as you build up this habit and practice, that's the main part. Each day commit for, let's say, 30 days. And when you have trained your mind, you have built enough neurons that are focused on the positive. Let's say you have this horrendous event come up that really messes up your mood or is meant to mess up your mood, is really bad news or anything that would bring you down, what your mind would do, or your habits. Now that you have built these habits up, your habits will help you to bring yourself up again and focus on creating change that will make you feel balanced, that will make you feel at peace or happy or joyful. With actions, your mind will focus on the action part in terms of taking small steps or big steps to create the change. And thanks to your habit of focusing on the good, on focusing on seeing the good little things in life, you will start to manage even bigger issues or bigger things that come up much smoother, and it will be no problem for you at all because your mind will be focused in the right direction. You have to see yourself as this beautiful flower plant that you need to water each day with the habit of the thoughts that you want to have, with the habit of the focus that you want to have and in which direction you are going. So watering your beautiful plant with the thoughts each day, building these habits, no matter how small they are, will really nourish you from inside out and make you feel good throughout the day. And this little day will build up to a week, a month, a year, and you will become the most positive, joyful person that you know. And this is a little practice that you can do to further build up this habit. So each day you can, in the morning, build up your mindset of positivity. Start with the beans while you're walking or while you're jogging. Start counting all the positive things that you can notice or that you can be grateful for. And then during the day, you can also check yourself. How am I feeling? Because a lot of times when we're going about our day, our focus is outside of ourselves. What we want to do is bring it back to ourselves and check yourself. How am I feeling? You can even set the reminders throughout the day to remind yourself to shift your focus if you need to bring yourself back into this balanced state. And in the evening, you can also check yourself. How did I do? And reward yourself. No matter what kind of day you had, just give yourself a hug and list all the amazing things that you did well that day. Because a lot of times when we look back, we look at the things that we lacked, but why not look at the things that you did great? So list them each day, and this will, in the evening, help you to go to bed with the right mindset, wake up feeling good as well, and you can continue this cycle and repeat. What this will help you to do is to build up a strong emotional foundation of feeling good as your standard and not allowing anyone or anything to mess up your mood. And a reminder that people pleasing is not being compassionate, that you are important and how you feel is important. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. I hope you learned something that will empower you throughout your day and the importance of actually working on your mood and not allowing anything to bring you down, because this becomes the foundation of your emotional stability and the standard of your daily life in terms of how you feel. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being with me, and please share it with anyone who would benefit, please leave us a review, and I will see you in the next episode.